Hello, my name is Anna Alcock, and today I want to talk to you about what we can do when we get in that sticky place in between creating a vision and then the transformation that occurs once we take action. This can also be applicable to when we're going through life and then something comes along and happens and just takes us by surprise. It could be something that was completely unexpected, an event, somebody passing away, an accident, something where we're suddenly stopped in our tracks. And the part that I want to really look at, apart from connecting how, the transformation from chrysalis to butterfly is akin to vision and transformation, is what we do when we're in that place in between. So when we're in that gooey spot in between where we've set our vision, we know what we want and we know where we want to go and we know what we want to bring forward, and we've got a plan, or we're trusting our intuition and we're being guided. What happens to us in that place in the middle where we get stuck, or we feel frozen, or something happens? What do we do in that place, and how can we best support ourselves to get through that time? So I guess the best way for me to approach this is to talk about what helps me and what I do when I'm in that place. And this is applicable not just to vision and transformation, but also to day-to-day life and trauma happening in between. You live in your day-to-day life, then something major happens or something significant that knocks you off your feet, and then the time after that. So it's for that place in between where we weren't expecting what's happened to happen, and we suddenly feel like we're frozen or we're stuck and we're wading through treacle. What do we do when we're in that place? So I'd say the first thing that we need to do is not try to fight it, because we can't change what's happened. We can't change what's come up. If it's regarding your transformation, or even if it's regarding, your life and something traumatic happening, those things have probably happened for a reason, and there's probably a lesson to be learned, or there's time that you need to stop and take stock and just allow yourself to be. And quite often these lessons come when we're doing the complete opposite of that, and when we're trying to achieve too much, we're trying to fight against something. And nature is, if we're referring back to the chrysalis into the butterfly, we can't rush nature. We have to allow that time when there's that sticky cocoon where, although we can't really see what's going on inside, there's huge transformation happening, and there's huge growth and learning that is happening within what we can't see. So if we recognise that the main thing we need to do is to allow that to be and not to fight it, then what can we do to cope while we're in that place, in that state? First of all, we have to accept it. So the first point is always awareness. So being aware that you're already in that state of the sticky bit in the middle. You're in the middle of the transformation, and the transformation hasn't happened, but you're going through huge growth and huge learning and lessons, and those things need to happen, and they take time. We can't rush nature. We can't speed up the process. So having awareness that you're in that place is the first port of call. And then once you've got awareness that you're in that place, it's about accepting where we are. So accepting that this is part of the transformation. It's just unseen to the outside world and to the outside, maybe even to ourselves, that we don't recognise it as transformation. We see it as being a stuck point, when actually it's probably the most significant part of our journey. And so what I want to talk about is, how do we cope when we're in that place? What do we do? Do we do anything? The thing that I always do is come back to presence, awareness of the present moment. Sometimes we need to snap out of a situation or snap out of our mindset with something. So the best thing to do is to choose something different. So we're not fighting what's happening. We've accepted, we've got an awareness of what's happened. We're aware that we're in this particular state at the moment, and we're accepting of that. But we need something to help us get us through until we actually transform, because it feels like a long time. It feels like we're wading through treacle, and we just want to be able to be okay and comfortable with where we are. So for each of us, that's going to be something different. It may be that you need to clear something. So you might need to clear some of the debris around you. You might need to do a bit of a declutter. And that could be in a physical sense, maybe at home. Maybe you need to clear some energy and tidy up, or, throw some things away or give some things away. If you've got physical clutter in your world and environment, that will be creating stagnant energy in your environment, which has a knock-on effect with how you feel, your emotions and your mindset, and what you can give out to other people as well. So you need to create this environment. Make sure that this environment, this cocoon that you're in, is an environment that is serving your needs whilst you're there. So clearing your clutter, whether it's emotional, mental or physical, maybe you need to let some things go. So we're talking metaphorically, but it could be that something to do with your lifestyle is not supporting what you need. You might need to change something, give something up, let something go. It might be to do with people, it might be to do with a job situation or some extra commitments that you have. Anything like that that's kind of taking up your time, where you need to actually just allow yourself to be for a while in this cocoon. Maybe it's that you need to get outside into nature and get some fresh air. There's nothing better than taking a walk outside and breathing in fresh air, filling your lungs with oxygen and allowing that to circulate through your body and into your brain. It might be going for a walk in the woods and, extending your hands onto the trees, because our hands are obviously the extension of our hearts. And so when we connect with nature in a physical sense, or we ground with the earth and take our shoes and socks off and have bare feet on the earth, we are tapping into those electrons that come through the earth itself, and they give us fuel and energy so that we can carry on. So maybe being out in nature is something that would support you. One of the main things for me is being in or near water. Water is really good for your emotions. It's good for bringing out things that need to come up. Being in water is very good. Obviously you could go swimming, or you could just take a nice luxurious bath, or just take some time soaking in some nice warm water with some essential oils and maybe a candle or something that just makes you feel, that can help you get through this time that you're in this state. My main thing that I love is to be creative, but obviously being creative doesn't come instinctively. It's not there when you need it sometimes. And so that's why I choose other things as well. So I have a very, selection of things that I can choose when I need help to get through this time. There's also things like meditation, quiet, silent time, reflection, that can really support you during this time. Those things are also really important to me. It just depends what I need at the time when, I'm going through a particular situation, because in different seasons and at different points of the year and at different times in our lives and different circumstances can mean that we need different things. And so we need to honour what we need at that time. And basically, if you feel like you when you feel like you're going through a time where you're struggling, sometimes giving back to others is a really good way to help you feel fulfilled. So if you are in a situation where you're unable to move yourself, then share something with somebody else, help somebody else. You know, if you've got some wisdom or some words or some way that you can support others in a gentle way that doesn't mean that you're compromising your need to be in this state of rest and reflection whilst you transform, you can still support, nurture other people as well. So I hope that's been helpful for you today. Just a few things to reflect on and think about for yourself when you get in that situation where you're in that sticky place in the middle, where you're between, your vision and transformation, or where you're maybe going through some kind of trauma or grief, or somewhere where you just have to rest and allow yourself to be. I hope this has been useful for you today, and I hope that you can take away something from it that will support you in your journey whenever you get in that situation. Thanks for listening.